notes and pictures and everything coming all together to make it easier. So the biggest difference in clean claims compared to what's out there is process enforcement. So essentially, it requires your mobile technicians, day-to-day technicians in the restoration world, to have to do what they're supposed to do. So when I owned my companies, my biggest frustrations were day-to-day, like with technicians, of not taking pictures. I think every Wednesday in my meetings for 8 years was, where's your pictures? Where's your readings? Why don't you take measurements? You know, all the nightmares of missing information that causes these headaches on the back end to get paid for what we're doing. So the biggest thing about clean claims, the value that separates it from any competitor out there, is creating the transparency between the restorer, you know, the property manager, the homeowner, the insurance carrier. It's creating that transparency that's showing everything that's being done start to finish with unmanipulated data. So everything in clean claims is time-stamped and marked, who does it and when, and it doesn't allow anybody to move on to a further step or the next step until everything's been filled out correctly. So we'll kind of go through the flow. We'll start with the PSA, like just looking at the screen, and we'll pick a client that we can, you know, transfer over into clean claims. So just looking on here, we're going to pull over Chris Waiters, the 1631C. So I'm going to come over here into clean claims. This is our home screen. This is just our super admin account, just practice dash, where we have jobs in here, but it gives you an idea of what you can see, how things are working, how when there is an address in here, you can just click directions and it'll autofill and default to your phone or tablet, whatever it is. It'll just put in the address. You can hit go. Just conveniences. Same thing with the phone number. If you click that and you're on a phone or tablet, it'll just take you, it'll auto-populate the number. You can just hit call. So in this case, we want to import from PSA. So we've added this button in here. So we can pull up, you know, pull the last jobs from PSA, or we can do it by job. So in this case, we could pull that FV, let's see, 1631C. So I'll hit import job. Pulling from PSA just takes a second. So it pulls up right there. So now when I hit the action tab, I say yes. The nice part too is if it's already been imported into clean claims, it knows that, and it won't let you input a second time. It'll flash red and let you know that you can't duplicate the job inside a clean claim. So it keeps it a little more organized. So we'll say yes. And then you can see right here that Chris Waiters job has just been populated into here. And so now if I come into this job, we can see that it's pulled in everything that we have right now currently from PSA, the address, all the different information. So anything, like, we're going to keep adding to, because we're in the middle of phase 2 of integration with PSA. And so we're going to be able to pull in more items, the more the better, because it's less double entry. So in this case, with the clean claims process enforcement, it's pulled it in here. It's pulled in the contacts. We can see their phone numbers. On the insurance side, if we pulled over the claim number that we have. So again, in clean claims, if I hit OK right here and hit yes, you'll see that it highlights in red what information that we're missing. And so in order to move on, we have to fill this out. So, you know, we could say this is a class 2, you know, category 2, year of the home. You know, if we put like 1970, for example, you'll get an alert up here showing it's recommended that you get asbestos testing done, and the year of the home is older than 78 and requires lead testing. So it just alerts, you know, anybody looking at this to be careful and not cut into anything hot. Issue source. So there's a generic list here that you can pick from, or you can select other and pick and type in whatever you want. So bathroom sink overflow. So we could just actually match that up and put bathroom sink on there. Now, if I hit complete and yes, you can see it'll automatically check me off and move me on to the next step. Now, the cool part here is we can add as many homeowners, as many renters, as many property managers and other, because we have clients that work with realtors or HOAs. So you can add as many as you want into here, and you can always come back. If you need to add more later, you can always come back and add more later. So, and then everything has a send view only link. So the cool part about this is if you want to create that transparency, allow a homeowner or an adjuster, somebody to see the job in real time, you can click to send that link and it'll be a view only. So then they can see the job, the progress and everything going on in real time as it's happening. So you can decide to click that whenever you want. So if this all looks good, we'll hit complete. If everything's filled out right, it just checks off and moves us on. And now the nice part too is a lot of our clients do all this in the office, or if they've already filled it out in PSA and we have all that information, it'll all push into here. So again, you don't have to double enter it. And this is where you can upload different work authorizations, different documents, and every document you upload in here has a signature, electronic signature as well. So again, if we hit complete right here, it won't let us move on. But as we know in the field, a lot of times we won't get this information from the insurance carrier. They'll tell you on the phone for, 24 to 48 hours. And so if that's the case, just put what we know, which in this case, we know it's the claim number, and we'll just hit this finish later button. So now if I hit complete, it'll bypass those requirements and let me move on so we can keep moving forward to get the job going. So in here, this would be, the company logo that you're with, your company information. Here's our job information. This is the legal review showing what's going on, what information we have on insurance. This would be the contract put in place. And then there's a couple options. You can either have the homeowner, client, property manager, whoever it is, sign in person, or you can click send remote signature. So if you click this, you can hit send email and it'll show remote signature pending and that it's been sent. It shows up there on the top. So, or you can skip the signature. Only an admin can skip the signature. So if you have text in the field that for some reason you would need to skip a signature, you would have to click that in order to bypass that. So then that gets sent. The beauty is the email is instant. So you get an email and it'll say from so-and-so, like if it's, whatever the restoration company name is, it'll just say it's from them. And then you're able to sign the agreements like work authorizations, contracts, health surveys, whatever it is, and you can send as many as needed and they'll have this electronic signature to go with it. So then this will help eliminate DocuSign if people are using that. So we're helping eliminate, you don't need Dropbox anymore. You wouldn't need Company Cam. This would replace, a few other programs on the market as well. So we're trying to help eliminate double entry and then consolidate a lot of this into one program to make it easy. So you can see in the sales calls complete. Again, if you're an admin, you can come back here and add anything you need. There's project notes. So this kind of creates your group text message, like garage code, 2345, call customer when you leave, or whatever you need to put. And everything on a phone or tablet is talk to text. So when I save this note, you can see it says who made the note and when. So it says Clean Claims admin, but this could say Lane Larson or Jackie or whoever's doing this. It would say who made that note and when. And then you can see if I come back in sales call, everything being done in here has a timestamp of who did it. So it's showing that I did this at this day and this time. So that's everything we're doing right here. So now we can see the mitigation's unlocked. The final inspection's still locked. We can't get into there yet because we have to complete these tasks. So in here, you can see we have our project requirements and everything is in red. So as we do things, like you can see, for example, the contract isn't signed yet. So if the customer in a real situation signs the emailed contract, you'll get a notification. You'll get an email letting you know that it's been signed, any document. So you're not wondering if it was signed or not. But if we come back here and I just sign it real quick, I put it in here and I hit update. So then you can see it's saving automatically. And then we'll hit mark complete and move back over. So now if I come in here, just refresh the page. See, I just got that email right here showing that Chris Waiters, this is letting me know as the contractor, this is to inform you that the contract's been signed. So I know right off the bat if they signed it or not. Now in here, you can see it shows that the signature's there. It's just automated. So it automatically checks off that they've signed it. And again, if you had a work authorization and a health survey, that'll reflect here too, whether those have been signed or not as well. And then it'll automatically start like the job started date. So it's just automatic as you go through it. So in here, the cool part is the following requirements must be met before you can add a room. So this is, again, you guys that have been in the industry for a while, guys and girls, know that we ask our technicians, you need all these different things, and they don't always do it. And it's just really hard to manage mobile technicians and getting what we need every single time. So again, with clean claims, they don't have a choice. Like, you have to do it. You don't have an option. So the beauty of this too is, one of the things we've been working really hard on, and I've been talking to Ryan Pritchard about this a lot as well, is that I've met the CEOs of Alacrity and Contractor Connection, and both of them are pushing us to different insurance carriers. And Lance, the CEO of Contractor Connection, emailed me and just flat out said that we want to use clean claims as an alternative to MICA. And so that's one of our biggest goals that we're pushing for, because there's so many customers that don't necessarily like that program. I don't want to talk bad about a competitor. I'm just saying what I've been told. And so this is becoming an alternative. So then you can use it. Because right now we have customers that are paying for clean claims and MICA, but they're having all their technicians use clean claims and literally having to put everything into MICA to then fulfill that need and send it in. And so we're just trying to help eliminate that and make this another alternative. And so we're getting really close. We've got meetings with USAA, Liberty Mutual, and Allstate coming up soon to show them what this does. So moving on, I'm just going to kind of show what I can, and then we'll cut it off and have questions and answers, and we can set up, other Zoom calls or phone calls if you guys like, if you want more of an in-depth demo as well. So we'll just keep going. So the things that we have to do before we can add a room is image of the front of the house or building, environment dry standard, and an outdoor reading. So the beauty of this, hopefully it took your eye to it, and it works amazing on a phone or tablet, is that the pulsating is to take you where you need to go. So instead of scrolling everywhere trying to figure it out, it's again with putting in the KISS method. So we just click front of the house or building. And then if I'm on a phone or tablet, when I click on this, it'll give you 3 options to either take a photo, choose from photo library, or browse. In this case, on my computer, it obviously just pulls me into my pictures on my computer. So in this case, it requires a minimum of 1 picture of a house, but again, there's no limits. You can take a close-up of the numbers of the house. You can take all different angles. You can keep adding to this. And again, as we take these pictures, you can see the timestamp of who took this picture and when. And if we need to add a note here, we could say, whatever we need to put, front of Jackie's house, we'll just say. I keep picking on Jackie. So then when we save this note, you can see again who made that note right there. And then now when I exit out of here, every picture, video will have a little kind of message green bubble on there to let you know that there is a note attached to these pictures. So now that we've taken this picture, you can see it automatically checks off that we've taken a picture of the front of the house or building, and the pulsating's gone away. So it helps. I mean, it takes away the thinking. It just walks everybody through what they need to do. So dry standard, same thing. We're going to click on this, the environment. We're going to say location. This could be unaffected area. So we could say it's a hallway or bedroom or whatever we need. Now, in this case, we default to manual readings. So if we wanted, we could put in the temperature, humidity of a dry standard. We've added 12 pages of algorithms on the back end, so it auto calculates your dew point, GPP, vapor pressure. So if contractors have one of those a little bit less expensive thermal hygrometers that only does temperature and humidity, it just calculates all this for them, so it makes it nice. Now if I hit OK, same thing, I'm missing a picture. You have to take a picture to prove that reading. So we can either do that, or I don't know if you guys can you see me in the corner at all, or is it just my whole screen?
We can see you.
Okay, perfect. Have you been able to see my screen this whole time, I hope?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So these are our, if you can see this, these are our patented wireless thermal hygrometers, and we have moisture meters as well. So we've been testing these in Chuck DeWald's flood house back in Indiana up against all of our competitors. And we can confidently say that these are the most accurate wireless sensors on the market. So if you have these are a la carte. You don't have to buy these. We have clients that'll buy the software first, and then they'll start using the sensors later. But the beauty of these is that they stay on site. You put them on dehumidifiers, you put them in every environment you need, and then you can get real-time monitoring mobily. So you know exactly, you can maintain control of your job without having to be there. So where it adds up is eliminating overtime, time and a half, fuel costs, having to send out guys every day, especially weekends, to go check on jobs in order to get paid. This will do it for you in real time. And we've compared it to the Valsala handheld thermal hygrometer, which are the most accurate in the world. And these are dead on to them, where I won't say, but competitors that we've tested against are 40% off, and we're dead on. So these are really cool feature to have. So if you have these, in this case, you can click over to a sensor, and then you'll have a list of sensor IDs, and that's what this barcode is on the back that you can select. Should have turned off that background. It keeps like cutting out, but so we'll type in, you can start typing it in. We can select it, and then you can see right here, I've turned it on. So it says click to enable sensor reading. So when I click that, there's a little button on the front with the green light, and you just click it once. And then once you do that, I'll click it again right here. Then it'll connect. It just takes a second. And then boom, there we go. So there's the reading that just got put in. And then again, you would take a picture to just show where in the environment you took that reading. So I'll just pick, in this case, we'll just do a random thermal hygrometer, a handheld. So you can see though, if you do have a handheld, you can take a picture of it and show, make a note, and then you're getting the proof of everything that you're doing. So now if we click OK, we can see that our first reading was taken right here. And then if we click on the picture, again, we can see the picture and the timestamp of who took that reading and when. So then we're documenting everything, showing proof that if a job took 6 days to dry, then it puts the power back in our hands as restorers as well, but then also protects the insurance carriers that we are not fudging our numbers, that we're not messing with anything, we're providing unmanipulated data. So it's really hard to argue facts when you turn in your job. And if it took 10 days to dry, it's really hard to argue when you have unmanipulated documentation proving it. So now same thing right here. We can select a different sensor or the same one. It depends on if you want to leave it outside or not. You click enable, you select that button, it flashes at you. Just give it a second and then it will connect. And then there you have your reading, if that was an outdoor reading. And again, you could take a picture of that reading outside or whatever it was, just to prove where you took that reading. So it's just providing, I don't know, any insurance carrier, anybody or owner of company that said you've taken too many pictures or you don't have enough, you have too much documentation. So with this, you're getting everything every step of the way, and it's just, and it allows you, so you can see as we're doing it, it's checking it off automatically and setting that we did those things. So now we can see the pulsating's gone away. We can do the project scope at any point in time we want. But now we can see the rooms are pulsating us. So now we can actually start creating a room to start documenting. So we'll hurry and create a room, and then we'll open this up to questions for you guys. So we click add room. Again, everything's just flashing at you. Like we wanted to eliminate scrolling. It's just, it takes you right where you need to go, makes it super easy. So we'll just make up a room. We'll say living room, chambers. This is where you can get as detailed as you want. You know, if we're on a 3-story flood in a house, it could be basement's a chamber, the main level, upstairs. If you're on a commercial building, it could be level 10, 9, 8, 7. It's essentially factoring in how many dehumidifiers you need according to the S500. It's going to track all the cubic feet and square feet and tell you how many air movers and dehumidifiers you need based off the S500 calculations. So in this case, we'll just put basement, living room, and then in here. So again, if I come to the bottom real quick, just to show you, if I hit save, it's going to highlight everything in red I'm missing. So I cannot even create this room until all of this is filled out. So it's just allowing everything to be documented in the moment when it should be, versus guys demoing the job, leaving, and then sitting in their trucks trying to figure out what they did and remembering. It just makes them do it at the very beginning. So we'll put the floor. We can just say we'll say it's a big room, 20 by 5 inches by 18, 2 inches. You can get detailed. So you can see it auto calculates the total square feet for you. And then we have affected square feet. So if it was 100% of the room, you type in 100 and it calculates that. If it was 50%, it calculates that. It just does it automatically for you. So we'll say 100% in this case. We get to the ceiling. If the ceiling wasn't affected, you can just select not affected. If it was, then, and it's the same dimensions as the floor, we can simply just click same as floor. It'll populate it in there. And then in this case, we could say maybe it was only 20% of the ceiling. So it just factors in that affected square feet as well. Walls. So the height, this is going to give us our cubic feet. Wall cuts, if you need to cut them. If you don't, then just click that. You don't need to cut them. If you do, then you can select the height. The nice part too is based off of our measurements of the room up here, it automatically calculates our perimeter walls as well. So we don't have to retry to figure that out. It's automatically added up. So in here, it's saying percentage of wall perimeter cuts needed. So if we say 100%, that's going to reflect that 77, 2 inches right there. And then it's going to show you the square feet. So if we change this to 4 feet, again, that auto calculates that square footage in there for you. So it's again, eliminating thinking. It's just having them like put in the information, it adds it up for them. It just flows through as they go. So you can see it's given us our total cubic feet for this room. And then notes are required. So again, talk to text, like this could be needs, extraction, contents, et cetera, however detailed you want to get in there. And the talk to text actually works amazing. I can't ever get it to work like in my car, like the Google stuff, and it does never works in my car, but whatever my technicians picked in here, it works amazing. So it reads your voice really good and picks up what you're saying. So moving on right here, we have a requirement, and I'll show you guys if we have time where you can pick and choose requirements. You can require videos, or you can take it off. You can require to have Matterports or docu-sketches. Like you can choose what you want for your company in the admin panel to make it specific. So in this case, our settings are to require before videos. And so we're gonna, again, if we were on a phone or tablet, it would let us take that video. In this case, I'm just on the computer, so I'll just pick one. Now, videos take a second, but you don't have to wait. I mean, you can see how quick that uploaded, but if it was like a 5-minute video, you could just keep going. You don't have to sit there and watch it upload. But then you can see, again, the timestamp. We can turn on the sound, and if I hit play, this is a category 3 loss on a job, but this is the technician walking through with the FLIR camera showing that the carpet was wet, that the walls are wet. It's really hard to argue that the carpet needed to be cut out or not when it's a category 3 loss, and you can see how wet it was. So anyway, it's again just showing we're giving the adjusters, what they need, and they're able to see it from their computers because you can send them a link and they can see this job in real time if you want them to. So again, it's a minimum requirement of 1, but you can take as many as you need to. You can take 10 videos. We have clients that'll put 100 pictures right here and before. It's a minimum requirement of 3, but again, you can change the settings as well and require the minimum to be 10. It's totally up to you. So you can either take the pictures, or if you have them in your library like this, you can select as many as you want and hit open. And then you can see that there's 6 of at least 3 being uploaded. And again, those upload pretty quick, but you don't have to sit there and wait. You can move on. So same thing before thermal imaging. This is an option. You can either keep it selected or you can deselect it. But then again, you're providing the proof to the insurance or the homeowner or property manager, whoever your client is, that yes, things were wet and here's what's going on. And then you're able to click on these and view them, make them bigger. You can add notes in here. And again, you can see all the timestamps of what's going on. So it's really nice to see like this way, because you can see the ceilings peeling off, but then you can see all the water in here on the FLIR too. So it's again, just providing facts of what's happening. I'll hurry and finish this so we can move to questions. So again, just to show you the sensors, it defaults to manual, and you can enter it in and take a picture, or we can click on the sensor, pick the ID. The label is what's this going in? So we're just going to say this is in, living room, because if you want to add multiple, you can name it whatever you need it to. Well, if I could spell. So then you click verify, and it just walks you through it. You click verify, it says press the button to activate it. So again, you just hit the button. activates, and saved. And then you can do the same thing if we partnered with Protimeter on our wireless moisture meters, and they let us use our patented proprietary technology. But if you have, I don't have any with me right now, but we have clients using them. But this is where you can take a manual reading, or you could connect to the sensor for materials as well. So it's got a generic list. So we could just say, we're taking a reading for drywall. Let's say it's 100%. We're going to take a picture to prove that. So if we have, let's see, here's a picture of one right here. We can, again, take as many as needed. We can zoom in on these pictures. We can verify that that's 99.9. Looks great. We can add a note if we want. And then every material we add, it requires you to put a dry standard. So then that way we have a goal of what we're trying to do. So unaffected reading was in the hallway. And then the moisture dry center will say it's at 12%. And then again, like always, you got to take a picture to prove it. So we'll just pick another random picture and then we'll finish this room. So now that we've done that, if everything's correct now and I hit save, it now creates that whole entire room that we just did. And now you can see that we have requirements showing what we've done and what needs to be done. So it's, again, it takes away the thinking. It just shows the technician where they need to go, what they need to do. If we need to click on readings, you can just select it and it'll bring you right down into your readings. So we have environment, moisture content, which is, here's that first reading we took. Here's our dry standard. And then as you take these readings, it'll chart it out on here, showing that when we reached our dry standard. And then the last one on the sensor for the environment, you can see it'll start charting it out. Now, this is for manual readings, and then this is for the sensor. So this will take readings every 5 to 15 minutes. And if you want a reading right now, I just click the button. So if I want a reading now, it'll pop up. If I press it again, so if I'm on the site, if you want, we can set these up to like every 3 hours, every 6 hours. But if you want a reading right now, all you have to do is tap the button and it'll take a reading. So you can see it just took 2. So that's my fast, quick, like what makes flood or clean claims different than anything out there. Process enforcement, you're eliminating arguing, you get paid faster. This is kind of what we do. So I think I might have went over on time, but we're about there. So thank you, Jackie, for the time, and PSA for letting me kind of show this, and the integration part as well. It makes it amazing to eliminate double entry and just pull it right in, and you can just start working and not have to keep typing in 3 different things, on 3 different programs. So there you go.
Yeah, that was awesome, Lane. Thank you so much for that presentation. That was really informative.
You bet.
We have a couple of questions. The first one I see here is, and I'll encourage everyone else, if they have any questions, to go ahead and type them in the chat. But I see one here. Are the signed documents and notes updated in PSA in attachments and notes?
Yes, they'll be transferred over. So it'll be, again, a seamless transition. So notes, pictures, all those documents will get pushed into PSA like how they are and where they need to go, so that they're where you need them. We're working on that in phase 3. So we're in phase 2 right now, wrapping up, and then we're getting more detailed with like the documents and everything. So we push them to where they need to go. So then you don't have to sort through them and figure it out. It's just automated. It'll just get put into PSA right where you need it.
Perfect. Okay. How does it upload when you don't have service?
Oh, great question. I didn't go over that. So we've integrated, it's called a PWA. It's a progressive web app. So if you have bad service or no service, just shut your item or your device off, turn it in airplane mode, and Clean Claims runs as if it's still connected to the internet. So the difference is in offline mode, everything goes boom, 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 super fast. It still seems like you're connected to the internet, but it's saving to your device. And then once you get service again, it'll prompt you to say, do you have unsynced data? Do you want to upload it? And you click yes, and it syncs everything from your device on into the cloud. And then you can keep moving. But great question, because then that eliminates the excuse of like, well, I went out to the job, but I didn't have service, so I couldn't document. Clean Claims works offline too. Just turn it on airplane mode and you can go through the whole entire thing.
Well, that's awesome. Do you have to change to airplane mode? What about when they don't realize they didn't have service?
I mean, you don't have to. You just essentially, for now, you need to just be able to log in and then go to where there's no service. So if you need to backtrack a hair and just at least log in, once you're logged in, you can turn it offline or lose service and it won't matter. You can keep adding jobs and doing whatever you need to do. You just need service for the initial login. And then after that, you can go nuts.
Perfect.
Good questions.
Okay, any other questions? I did have one directly to me earlier about accessing this recording. So we will publish this on our YouTube channel and we will have a link available to that later on today. So we can send it to anyone.
Perfect.
Does the remote sensor connect through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or mobile?
Oh, good question. So it's Wi-Fi. So we have, let me show it to you if I can, I'll pull one out real quick. So I was down in New Orleans for 2 weeks, really putting these through the ringer. And so this, if you can see it, is our own, you get your own base station. So you can see you have your own antenna. This is your own connectivity. So you're not relying on the homeowner's connectivity. You're not relying on anything. When you plug this in, it shows you your bars, just like in your house, your Wi-Fi. But the beauty of this is that we're not attached to one carrier. So in New Orleans, a really cool thing is we had a competitor out on a job and nothing was working because there was no internet. We were in a cat event from Hurricane Ida. We were down on some schools. So I plugged this in the middle of the school, had full service, and these are hotspots too. So you can actually pay for extra gigs if you want, and then you can connect. This is a Clean Claims Wi-Fi hotspot. So the sensors all connect to this, and then you can actually connect. We connected phones and we were able to make Wi-Fi calls, hook up computers. In dead zones, we had full service and was able to communicate with our teams outside of the dead zones. And you can hook up about 60 sensors to one of these base stations. And I put some videos up on YouTube and LinkedIn, but we were able to connect through probably about 250 feet away from the base station sensors through brick, cement, metal, 250 feet through classrooms, and we had one base station and connected the whole entire school in every direction. And you can go 2 floors up and 2 floors down and it still connects. But it's amazing to have your own signal because then you're not relying on a homeowners or property managers. And the beauty too is if this got unplugged, your sensors still keep tracking the information. And as soon as this gets plugged in, it'll dump all the data being collected. Because we've tested it at clients' houses. You know how clients never unplug our stuff, right? It got unplugged and it was running for 10 days. And I mean, we knew about it sooner. We got an alert for it. But then once we went back and plugged it in, it dumped all the data from the sensors that it was collecting. And these are also GPS tracked as well. So good questions. It's your own base station to hook up to your Wi-Fi.
That's great. That's a great product. Truly.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I've turned into a nerd. I love it. I geek out over it. So when we were in New Orleans testing these out, I was like a little kid in a candy store just going nuts with these. It was fun. We were on 7 different schools trying them out. So it was fun.
Oh, great. Okay, any more questions? All right, well, if you think of any after the fact, you can always, so Lane's put his contact information there. You can also email into our support team and we will get you whatever information you need. So with that, thanks again, Lane. That was awesome. And
yeah, thank you for the time.
Oh, no problem. And thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening to me jabber for a minute.
No, that was great. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.